Gerrid, can you just give us a sense of what the process has been like for you since the Peach Bowl, just in terms of like your thought process, but also any meetings or workouts or anything you've been having?
Um, After the Peach Bowl, I went down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at XP to train. My mindset was really just to focus on my 40. Getting fast, getting quicker, because I feel like that's what most teams are trying to see out of me. So, but I also been focusing on like getting more better in my routes and stuff up there. But getting fast was my main focus.
Was there anything through this process, whether it's like you talking to teams, that you feel like playing at Cincinnati has helped prepare you for?
Yeah, of course. Being as a running back, people are going to ask if you can pass block. I feel like that's one of my strongest attributes when it comes to playing. So, when they ask things like that, I was very confident in my game. So I think that was the best thing.
Gerrid, here's Matias from Timeout here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. You just say about stuff that people are gonna ask about what you can do as a running back, and today's NFL, the running backs have to catch the ball. How do you see yourself in this kind of situations, and how do you think that the pro day was work for you for trying to show these little things that you just mentioned?
Me being a bigger back, I feel like they'll try to question my ball catching ability. But, I'm also very confident in that. And I showed that this past season with the opportunities I got. And, at the pro day, I'm gonna have an opportunity to catch balls and, opportunity to run fast. And I feel like I won't disappoint either.
And any NFL team talk to you about working some special team things or something different that you usually work or put on your training?
Yeah, every team wants you guys to play special teams, and I've played special teams here at Cincinnati, so it won't be anything new, and I'm willing to play special teams anywhere.
Thank you. Good luck during the process.
Appreciate it.
Gerrid, what's this like for you? How much do you there's mock drafts everywhere. Everyone's got an opinion. There's analysis. How much do you pay attention to it, or how much do you try not to get caught up in it? You still got a month to wait.
With me being so active on social media, of course I see it all the time. But I'm one of those guys that don't really have that much clout out there going into the draft. But after this pro day, I feel like that should wake up a lot of people, get a lot of people's attention. But it really doesn't. People's opinions really don't matter, because I know I can ball at the end of the day.
Gerrid, what specific skills are you looking to showcase tomorrow at pro day to hope to catch some teams' eyes?
Well, first and foremost, that I can run. I feel like a lot of teams think I'm slower than what I am, and that I can run and I can catch the ball for sure. I think that's the two main things I'm focusing on.
Gerrid, I think 6 of your former teammates elected to take advantage of the extra year from the NCAA and come back. Did you think about it at all? Were you tempted?
Nah, I kind of knew it was just time for me to take the next step. I've been here for a while, so I just needed something. I feel like it was time for me to take that next step.
You've been able to catch a couple spring practices over the last couple of days. Do you get the itch when you're there to kind of get back out there a little bit?
Yeah, spring ball is a different monster for college, but I definitely ready to get back on the field. It feels like it's been a while, but it's only been a couple months, but I'm definitely ready.
You were here when Coach Fickell got here as a redshirt freshman. how good does that feel that you left a legacy at Cincinnati of championships and winning and taking this program from a tough spot to a championship level team? And do you talk about that when you talk with NFL teams about winning and changing culture and being the right kind of guy?
Yeah, it feels great because when I first got here, things wasn't looking too promising, but when Fit got here, we all took in the culture he wanted to have around, it led us to where we were. And when teams ask, winning is just what we do now, it's just the culture we have around here. It just, I don't know, it became natural.
I remember last year, Josiah caught a bunch of eyes, I think, on the bench press when he did like the most reps among tight ends. I know you're focused on your 40 and want to show that you can run fast, but is there some other measurable part of this that you can't wait to show people?
I feel like my vert is going to be a standout too. I can jump pretty well.
Give us a hint. What are we looking for?
I'm aiming for about a 38. Yeah. Or more.
What are you looking at for the 40? I know you've got a good time here already.
Yeah.
That maybe people don't know about. What are you looking at for the 40?
I say 4 or 5 flat or faster.
Anything else for Gerrid? All right. Thanks, Gerrid.
GD.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thanks, GD.
Started. Sorry, guys, I was getting it renamed. James Smith joined us a couple minutes early, so we can get started with him. Go ahead with your questions.
James, here's Matias from Timeout here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. Talk with a lot of players, especially in the special team positions. They always talk about how the process work a little different from you guys, and you kind of don't have some expectations of being high picks that maybe you got caught on the end of the draft. But how do you work on it for try to show for the teams that if not on the draft, they sign you in the free agency for just having a shot?
Yeah, so you just got to basically show, like with any specialist position, that you're a consistent footballer, and that's at the end of the day how it works. So I've got to be able to show that I can do what special teams coordinators are going to ask of me at the next level. And then you've also got to be that guy that everyone wants to have around the locker room. Like you got to be an energy giver, not an energy taker. You've got to be somewhat of a leader as well. That's sort of what's expected of anyone that steps into a program now and wants a spot on that 53-man roster. You got to find other ways to give as a specialist. And yeah, and it just helps if you're 6'5" and athletic as well. That's definitely something else that you can showcase at Pro Day. Not that I will be, but yeah, it's definitely another talking point.
Thank you. Good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
James, you've talked about the fact that you didn't necessarily know a ton about American football before you came over here. What does it feel like then 4 years later to be in this position, hopefully getting drafted?
Yeah, so to look back on myself when I came in 2017, late May, early June, to know very little about the game and to where I am now, and in terms of what I know, just not in football knowledge, but in sort of like life knowledge and things that I've learned whilst being here at UC. It's a pretty surreal experience that I've had since I've been here, and it's one that I hold very dear, and I'm very thankful for all the time that I've had here at UC, and just the molding that Coach Vic, Coach Mason, all the guys that I've been working with and around over the last 4 years to get me to where I am now is just a true blessing, and I can't thank those guys enough for hopefully molding me into a player that someone is looking to add to their team in the draft.
What does everyone back on the cherry farm think about all this?
Still pretty surreal and unreal for them. So like, it's a very uncommon dream back home, and to have the opportunity to be thought about as being one of the best punters in the draft and someone that could potentially be drafted come end of April, early May is just unreal. And I've had a lot of support from everyone back home, and it's been good to have that sort of support, knowing that everyone's been in your corner with everyone COVID going around and not being able to get home for probably the last 2 years. It's good to know that I've still got all that support from back home. So yeah, it's really good.
James, Matias from Brazil again. It for me, for being a Brazilian reporter, is different. All these interviews and because it's football. You're from Australia, right? And how was for you being in this environment, the football environment in the US? How do all these kind of things work for you? And how do you think that maybe if you're not playing in the US, back to the Australia and play football there? I know that the Australia have football too, not the same level, but how do you think that maybe this can be a possibility for you?
Yeah, so the idea is definitely to make a roster, whether that be on draft day or not. In terms of like how the US has been in terms of football, I've relished and loved every minute of it. The high enthusiasm, high like work ethic environment that's been created here at UC is something that I've definitely strived under. It's fit very well with the core values that I sort of grew up on and were taught by my parents back home. So that was sort of a very easy transition for me, and it's one that's been very good. And I thoroughly thank like Coach Fick and Coach Mace and everyone else for like making that sort of environment for players to flourish. And it's definitely something that the whole team's brought in. Hence why we're playing great football and have been so for the last 3 years consecutively. I haven't really thought too much about what I want to do in terms of sporting wise after the draft. I'm very focused on what I'm currently doing and how I'm going to get myself on a team at the moment. So yeah, I don't really have too many plans afterwards sporting wise.
Thank you.
James, what are you looking to put on display tomorrow and to best showcase, what you bring to the table?
Just a consistent form of punting the traditional format, being able to go left and right, kicking some good balls with some big hang times and good distances, and just showing consistency and coachability from what coaches want to ask and see from me, as well as showing a bit of my personality and things like that. Some things that coaches and other people tend to love. Everyone seems to think I'm a bit of a personality. So if I can display something like that and have a team fall in love with you sort of thing, and then they want to draft you on draft day, that's definitely the process that I'm trying to follow.
How much time have you put in on your 40?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
James, the rules are a little different in the NFL. Teams don't rugby punt because of the ineligible men downfield. Has that been a big part of your training leading up to now, just adjusting to the traditional style?
I wouldn't call it an adjustment. So what I've been doing is definitely more so of that, but it's something that we practiced here at Cincinnati quite regularly. I've had it in the golf bag, as I like to call it, the last 4 years. It was just something that we never sort of ran much in game because we were so good at covering the rugby style or the rollout sort of punts. So it's definitely something that I've worked a lot harder on come off this season, and that's what I've been doing in all my training up until this point. So it's definitely something that I'm going to showcase tomorrow. So that's, yeah.
What sense have you gotten with any conversations with teams about when or where you might be drafted?
It's a little all up in the air. I spoke to a lot of teams, had a lot of Zoom calls. I think I've had about 10 or 12 teams that I've spoken with personally, which is always nice to have, and to have that sort of interest is nice. I'm not too worried about where or when I go. Just any opportunity will be greatly appreciated. Anything that I can do to get on a team and then have an opportunity to compete against somebody else, that's what I'm looking for.
James, how different is it for a punter going into the draft? You know, it's that we have mock drafts that go through 7 rounds. You may or may not appear near the end of one. Basically, you're rated against the other punters that are available. How much do you pay attention to what's being put out by all these analysts?
At the end of the day, an analyst's job is to put who they think is going to get drafted, and unfortunately, punters probably don't fall into those sorts of categories. Analysts like to think that teams need this and that, but it's probably up to upper management and coaching staffs of teams that decide where and what they value in terms of special teams play and ability. So there's definitely going to be teams that draft specialists, whether that be kickers, punters, long snappers, and where that's going to be, I have no idea. At the end of the day, it comes down to what they deem as a necessity in their program moving forward. And yeah, I just hope that there's going to be a punter like myself taken somewhere in the draft. And in terms of other guys, yeah, you're always out there competing against other guys. And that's sort of, any good punter will tell you that they relish competition, and that's something that you gauge yourself on. And that's definitely the way I look at it. So I'm not really looking at where people rank other punters. I know at the end of the day what I'm going to be able to do and show tomorrow. So that's all I can do.
What kind of influence, if any, has Kevin Huber been for you, knowing what an incredible career he's had coming out of the same school in the same position?
Just to watch from a distance, I actually haven't personally met Kevin, but just to be in a similar situation to him, have a great 4-year career here at Cincinnati, and then the opportunity to play at the next level. He's definitely someone that you'd want to model your career on. I'm not sure what season he's in, but it's around the 13 or 14 mark heading into this season. So if you can model yourself on someone like that, someone that's been a consistent stalwart of the punter position in the NFL, you can't ask for more than that. So if you were a punter coming out, you'd want to model your career on something like Kevin Huber and be around for a long time.
Thanks.
James, you excelled pretty much right away at UC. Did you start to think that the NFL was a realistic possibility almost from that first year?
To tell you the truth, I sort of came over with no expectations. Like, I was coming over here to play a game and get an absolute world-class education here at UC. And yeah, I had aspirations to go to the next level, but I'm also a bit of a realist. I know how many people get drafted, and I know how small of a percentage it is even for specialists. But after that first year, I sort of got a little bit more attention than what I was used to, especially from a punter position role. And then I sort of just decided, look, I'm going to take it as serious as I can and be the best person that I can be in the weight room, on the field, and outside in the classroom as well. So that was sort of the end goal of what I wanted to do. And it just sort of kept building. And now I'm sort of to the apex of where I don't know where I'm going to go from here. And the NFL is a very realistic option at this stage. So that's definitely what I'm striving for. And to potentially have my name called out on draft day would be unreal.
Hey, James, thanks for talking with us. You mentioned you had talked with, I think, 10 or so teams on Zoom. Were the Pittsburgh Steelers one of those teams by chance?
No, I actually haven't spoken to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
James, did any of the teams ask about your fake punt in the Peach Bowl?
No, they actually haven't asked about that, to be honest. And I'm surprised that hasn't, because if anyone saw the film, it looks like I got some wheels. So I don't think I really need to run the 40 tomorrow. But no, a lot actually ask if you're capable of throwing the ball and how good your movement is and things like that. So being athletic and having a good background from my Australian rules football days and being able to run and throw is definitely something that is looked at as an asset. So that's been a good talking point with teams.
Have you informed them of your desire to play tight end and or linebacker?
I haven't informed them yet, but that's definitely going to be a conversation in the works. There's going to be at least one big set heavy package where I'm involved in red zone play. That's a non-negotiable.
Anything else for James?
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No problems. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, James.